So I'm here to talk a little bit about, of course, my focus now will be on organizations and corporations, leaving the school or higher education system, moving in to the business life of Europe. How must they, can they, should they use upskilling in order to stay competitive? So my theme is also to just present to you an observation from my side is that we can see growing gaps between countries, organization, and individuals when it comes to both the ambition and innovation when it comes to upskilling. So, well, World Economic Forum, the commissioner, started this webinar to just let everybody know about World Economic Forum's very important job within upskilling and reskilling. And they talk about that, an average employee in Europe needs around 101 days of competence development up until 2022, only to do the job that year. So it's significant. And maybe it's, we can start here that I think we face the greatest challenges that we ever faced up until now. And that is that we must learn more, faster, and better than ever before. And that's a big challenge. Big challenge for a continent such as Europe. It's a big challenge for a country, and it's a big challenge for an organization. However, the bright side of this is that we have great opportunities to learn than ever before. That we can learn more, faster, and better, of course, using a lot of digital tools and methods and technology, but not only that, also new research on how adults can learn and why we should learn. The problem is that from my side, too few organizations realize this. They don't even know that we have to learn more than ever, and they don't know how we can learn more than ever. It's such that the innovation that we have seen in the learning community regarding upskilling and reskilling in the last years is like packed in a black box. Very few know about them. And that is not the sustainable model. We need to open up this black box and to share not only why we should learn more than ever, but how we can learn more than ever. So, of course, we must start here as well. The Corona crisis or the COVID crisis. And my observation is, I'm a little bit pessimistic. I see it's a very low sense of urgency when it comes to re-upskilling during this crisis. You know, right now we have millions of people in Europe that are on temporary leave from their jobs because of the Corona crisis. But how many nations, how many organizations have taken the opportunity when people have less time at the workplace, when they are sitting at home? How can we use that time for training? How can we use that time to launch the biggest project or initiatives when it comes to reskilling? And I say that it's very few nations and organizations, and even so very few individuals to take this opportunity to learn more than ever. When I meet both nations, organizations, and individuals, that it's a big difference when it comes to the level of ambition. Some individuals, organizations, and nations have very high ambition when it comes to learning. They have understood that they need to learn more than ever. But still, I meet a lot of organizations and nations that maybe have raised a little bit, their awareness that they need higher ambition when it comes to learning. But they see it's working pretty okay. And then we have another perspective or axis, is that some individuals, organizations, and nations take advantage of all the innovations that are going on out there, and some doesn't. So we have a growing differences in learning between countries that are still down here, or individuals that are still down here. They have raised a little bit of their ambition. They have taken advantage of some of the innovation, but not so much, or not so many. And then at the same time, we have few organizations, even nations, that have realized both the higher ambition and the higher level of innovation. And the gaps between those two groups are growing. But this was before the Corona crisis. After the Corona crisis and during the Corona crisis, the difference is even greater between those who are in the game and those who are off the game. And this is worrying. And yet again, you can see the same pattern between individuals, organizations, and countries. And that is not simply sustainable. And talking about upskilling, you know, because a lot of nations talk about reskilling. They wait until people are being laid off before launching some initiatives. But the upskilling is there, so you don't have to be forced to reskill. You know, if you're upskilling all of the time, you maybe can avoid being forced into reskilling, finding a new job in the middle of the life. But of course, there's a lot of great examples. Here's one from the leading MOOC platform, the massive open online courses, Coursera. And what we can see is that a lot of individuals, they take the responsibility. When they are on, you know, temporary leave or have less job during the Corona crisis, they participate in a MOOC at an Ivy League university or some other universities around the world. So Coursera could see a rise in participants during the period of mid-March to mid-May of over 600%. More than 10 million people participated in one or two MOOCs during this period. So we can see that some individuals take the opportunity, take the responsibility to upskill when they have time and opportunity right now. And then I have a small test. A test that you can try out yourself or try on your colleagues to see if your colleague or organization is in the game when it comes to upskilling. And the test goes in 3 questions. And you can either answer yes or no, or the people you're asking can either say yes or no. First question is, do you know what a MOOC is? Either yes or no. Either you know what MOOC is, you know, it has been around for more than 10 years. The second question is, have you participated yourself in a MOOC? Yes or no? And then the third question is, do you use MOOC in your upskilling or reskilling program in your organization, at your university? Can you take advantage of the opportunity to participate in a course at Harvard Business School, for instance? And if you say yes to all of this, then I think you're future-proofed. You're in the game. But when I ask this question to organizations, to HR departments, to politicians, I maybe get a first yes, but then 2 no's on the 2 last questions. That is simply not okay. If you're not aware of the MOOC revolution, how you can benefit from it, I'm quite sure you miss also other trends. But again, a lot of positive things are happening. You know, in the US, Donald Trump has launched a pledge to American workers, created more than 16 million education opportunities for workers in the US. In New Zealand, we see the Prime Minister there that has reached out her hand to big corporation, and they have promised to double their efforts when it comes to reskilling. And down in France, Macron and his government has launched, the portal that all workers in France have access to a lifelong learning portal themselves. And it has been a huge success so far. And then in Singapore, of course, they were first. They have launched a Skills Future portal that every citizen in Singapore over the age of 25 have access to their own lifelong learning portal. So they can take, responsibility over their own learning. And also during the Corona crisis, we see great initiatives. We see SAP, the great German company, have launched a MOOC platform on their own in the beginning of March, where you can participate in hundreds of different courses, utilizing the downtime that we have right now. And another great example is from the food delivery company Deliveroo, based in the UK, but also present in many countries around the world. They have a lot of giggers. And when they saw the crisis coming, they thought, hey, now it's the time for our giggers to invest in learning. So they partnered up with a MOOC platform and launched hundreds of thousands of courses to their employees, to the giggers, so they can take the next step. Well, what have I done then? Well, one thing that we launched in the beginning of March is an initiative, because we saw that organizations, maybe they were quite keen of using the time now for upskilling their employees, but they didn't really know how to. So what we did, because now organizations don't have the time to do an in-depth needs analysis. So what we did, we started off with a statistic from LinkedIn. You know, they have just launched their results from their survey, you know, where they have looked at what are the skills in need when they talk to employers. And you have 5 top soft skills, and you have 10 top hard skills. And we took that list. And then we went through edX, Coursera, and FutureLearn, that being MOOC platforms. And then we handpicked 2 courses that were for free at leading universities covering these topics, soft skills topics and hard skills topics. And then we just packaged in a portal and we launched it to organizations. So they can instantly access top of the line online material from leading universities within topics and subjects that were very much so in demand. So going forward, my final remarks though. First, we need to work on the sense of urgency still, maybe scaled up in 2. We need individuals to realize, to understand that they need to learn more than ever. Organizations need to understand that they not only need to learn more than ever, but how they can learn more than ever. And also countries. We must be much more innovative. We must have reskilling and upskilling much higher on the agenda. Look at the World Economic Forum. They have it on the top 3 points on the agenda. And then, of course, we need more competence, especially in organization. And we need maybe new working roles. Maybe it's not good enough that HR department work with upskilling with the left hand, you know, alongside all other tasks. Maybe we need a specific skills that both have strategic knowledge, what are the future of our company, what's the vision, where are we heading, and link that to what kind of competence do we need in order to get there. But don't stop there. Then to transform that analysis into concrete programs, both with everyday training and then with courses, both external and internal, that are flexible and can scale. And in order to do this, we need to work much more with scouting, because it's a lot of things happening in the world when it comes to upskilling and reskilling. And I'm so sad to say that Europe used to be a leading continent when it comes to innovation in education. But I see now that other countries, other continents are way more innovative. So we need to scout what's happening in other countries such as Singapore and the US, in China. And we need much more cooperation between, for instance, HR and IT. Education technology is here to stay, and we need to utilize that. And then co-creation together with employers and employees, trade unions, government, corporations. You know, being alone in this game is not very successful. And the final thing, we need to start all projects or initiatives to think of scale. It's not good enough to launch a program that covers hundreds of people. We need to think about thousands of people, millions of people that can access upskilling program. And we need speed to launch new topics all of the time. We need flexibility, not only online, because we also need to meet in person. We need to find a perfect combination, the perfect blended approach. And we need to be much more innovative when it comes to upskilling and reskilling. So that was my short introduction, and I'm looking forward to the other speakers, and maybe we can have a Q&A session. So thank you from a sunny Stockholm. Over to you guys.